Hey guys, what is going on? This is Travis P11. I'd like to welcome you back to the channel and welcome to the construction zone. First of all, I want to apologize for the mess. We've got some home improvement projects that we've been working on for a while here. We got a gazebo that we're building. We've got a deck that we're trying to finish up. We've got a patio that we're in the process of rebuilding. And I just wanted to stop and give you guys a one-year update on the UltraDeck Fusion 2.0 composite panel strips, I guess you could say, that we bought from Menards last summer. So just a quick story. We plan to do a 40 by 16 foot above ground deck. And so we went ahead and went to Menards, and they basically, put together a parts list, and they quote you a price for it, and they basically drop everything off in your driveway, all the hardware, all the fasteners, all the nails, the screws, everything that you need. And when we got that put together, we decided that was just a little bit too big. It was gonna come close to the neighbor's property line, so we decided to cut it back to 32 by 16. Not that that's a big deal, but it's gonna be something we're gonna integrate into the video a little bit later on. So here we are with a 32 by 16 foot deck. It's not done yet. We need to get some stairs built for it. We're going to go ahead and picture frame it, and we're also going to do some landscaping out back and put in some sod. It's gonna look nice when it's all done, and I'll give you guys a follow-up video. So last summer, we started building this deck in July. It took us maybe about 4 weeks for two of us to work on. We decided to go with the Fusion UltraDeck 2.0 because we just wanted to buy this composite decking one time. It's gonna last 25 years and not have to worry about having to stain it or really do much in terms of maintenance, not really have to worry about warping and things like that. And if you know anything about modern lumber, it's just not the same anymore as it used to be. In fact, a lot of the lumber that we buy these days, it's very low grade. It's gonna have a lot of bowing issues, a lot of warping issues. It just doesn't last. So, all right, so in order to plan a 40 by 16 foot UltraDeck 2.0 composite deck, Menards quoted us around $8,500 for everything. That's each of these strips. That's gonna be these little fasteners that you use here. The T-clips that you use on the end, I think they're called turbo clips if I'm not mistaken. And we had a couple cases of those that we went through. I'll let you know how many I used on a 32 by 16 foot deck. Advantages to this real quick, I just want to take you through the features of the Fusion 2.0 decking, and then we're going to show you what it looks like, how well it's held up, our thoughts about it, some install advice, and so on. So first of all, it does feature a rich color, a plain saw wood grain texture, which provides a superior level of scratch, stain, and fade resistance. Simple installation, eco-friendly, 25-year limited warranty. They also have good customer service if you need it. It says composite construction provides durability against splintering, cracking, rotting, and insects. And they also talk about the size of T-clips that you can use on it. There's a little side profile cut so you can see what it looks like. All right, so first things first, let's talk about the price. These 16-foot strips that we used to build the deck, they run around $46 a piece. So like I said, for a 40 by 16-foot deck, we were looking at around $8,500, but that also included the lumber that we used to build the frame. They had 5 or 6 different colors available, and this is going to sound terrible. I cannot remember which color we used off the top of our head. What I can say that instead of, when it comes time to mount this, instead of doing, the composite deck screws, which just don't look very good, we decided to go with these UltraDeck T-clips. So we did have an option at the time when we bought the kit. I want to say these run around 30 bucks for a canister of 100. We ended up using 880. Yeah, we put them every 12 inches on the deck here. And yeah, we ran through 880 for a 32 by 16 foot deck. Installing them, there's videos that will show you what to do. You essentially are going to be using your T-clips on one end right here. You lock that board in, and then everything gets pulled back. And you use a fastener that goes between the ridges of the boards. You cinch them together, screw it down, you move to the next one, move to the next one, and so on. And my fiance, Gun Bunny P11, actually invented this little contraption out of 2 pieces of decking that you could use between a couple clamps to easily pull the panels together. It made it much easier to do so. And that's something you might want to look into, is if they have like a panel gap tool that you can use. I'm sure they make one. I think I've seen them on Facebook. Something you can use, or you definitely want to get some clamps to bring it together. Now, after 4 seasons of Nebraska weather, the strips are holding up really, really well. Like I said, we have not finished this yet. We pretty much started working on 2 other projects. Kind of ran out of time, but we absolutely love how it looks in the end. Apologies, guys, I got to do some cleanup work back here. I haven't had a chance to do so. When it comes to cleaning it, you can use some deck soap on there if you want to, or some Dawn and some warm water, and just get a brush out here and just scrub it off. You can hose it down if you want to. And it's held up really, really well. We have no issues with warping. We have no issues with bowing. No problems whatsoever. When you install it, these can expand maybe around 1/4 inch or so. And so you want to install them. There's a certain temperature range that they recommend that you follow. We tried installing these in the morning when it was nice and cool out for the most part, or in the evening when it was cool out. And that will minimize the amount of expansion that you're going to get, especially if you're trying to make it square or you're trying to get it so everything is basically flush. Now, the only thing that just a couple things I want to mention here, these T-clips, and it didn't matter if I was using a high-speed drill or just a standard cordless drill, the T15 driver bits, man, I would burn through one probably around every 25 to 50 clips. I know that sounds crazy, but they just don't last, and I don't know what the problem was. Like I said, I tried using a corded, high-speed drill. I tried using just a standard cordless drill, and it would just chew up the tips of those drives. And so I tried the Milwaukee bits, and I tried the DeWalt bits, and I tried the Menards brand bits, and I didn't seem to really find any that would last more than around 50 of these T-clips before they would wear out. So just plan ahead for that. The one that they give you is not going to get you through 100 pieces, I can tell you that. They do give you a T15 driver that comes with it. So let's take a look at one of these fasteners real quick, and I can show you what it looks like. So essentially what would happen is you tuck it in one side. There's an arrow that shows you the direction that you need to mount them in right here. There's a little arrow on there, and there's a screw right here. You put those in, you cinch the two boards together, and this just drives down into your stud or your joist, and that's what you use to keep the boards together, and then you go all the way to the end. Now at the end, we did use decking screws that we had bought originally for the kit to fasten that last board down there, because there really is no easy way to finish it. You can't really use these clips because these are, kind of one-sided. They do make special clips, however, that do go on the side of your home, and if you're gonna mount this deck to your house, they have some special clips you can use to get it started. They are pretty easy to do, and myself having very little to no construction or carpentry skills, it didn't take a whole lot really for us to kind of put this together once you get into the process of laying down the boards. About the boards themselves, so you can see over here we've got a pile of them. A lot of these were actually cut shorter than 16 feet, and at $46 a board, that was a major boo-boo on the part of Ultradec, or whoever cuts them. I don't know if Menards cuts them or Ultradec cuts them. So those are actually going to get used to recover the deck that we're currently tearing out that's attached to our home right now. We're in the process of reinforcing that, bringing that up to code, and these strips are going to get reused. So, if you get stuck with a dozen of these and they're cut too short, you're going to have to return those and get properly sized strips, because otherwise you're going to be cutting off little end pieces trying to meet the minimum length that you're doing. So that was a little disappointing, getting stuck with a bunch of pieces that essentially we couldn't use. But lucky for us, the deck was basically done because we went shorter than originally projected. The other thing too is you want to give yourself a generous, wide and deep pilot hole before you put those decking screws in. For whatever reason, I don't know what the deal is. Again, I'm just not good with the drill, I guess. I could not get the screws to go in without grinding out the bits. I would try doing a consistent slow push. I tried doing a faster push. I think I just needed to go with a deeper pilot hole to kind of get the screw more set before it hits the wood. It seems like you get about halfway into the board and then it would just sit there and just kind of burn out or spin out. So I'm just not good with those. I need to practice with those. I was able to get the ones in the end of the deck down there to finish it out, but otherwise it really was a pain. Would I do it again? Would we do it again? Oh, absolutely. I mean, the decking has held up well. It looks really nice. It's durable. It's super easy to clean. The con about this is you're going to be spending 2 to maybe 3 times more than you would if you just went ahead and used lumber. And really that kind of depends on the market price for lumber at the time. I don't know if this stuff went up when lumber prices were going crazy or not. I mean, composite is a mix of, basically wood and essentially plastic or polymer. And you can see the sides of it here. That's what it looks like. They're really well made. I mean, they're really good, and these didn't really have any bowing issues. You do want to make sure they're not cut square or flush, whatever you want to call it, from the company. So you want to definitely cut off an edge, a ½ inch or whatever, to make sure you have a nice straight edge before you decide to do any building with it, because they can be cut at an angle as they just kind of rush these out of the factory. But overall, I like them. I think it's worth the investment. I think they're going to hold their value, especially if it ever comes time to sell the house. You've got a nice 25-year guarantee covered deck. I think that's something that's kind of nice because it's not going to strain somebody coming in to buy your house, especially when it comes to having to remodel stuff and redo things. But overall, we've been really happy with it. We like them. Just be prepared for a lot of labor, a lot of work. By doing it ourselves, we got quoted I want to say maybe $8,000 or $9,000 labor to assemble it if we did not do it ourselves. And so that's something that you want to keep in mind, is whatever you pay for the deck, you can pretty much double the price of the materials, and that's what the labor is going to run you. So in the end, very, very happy with it. It's not done yet. Like I said, we'll do a complete tour of the deck once it's all finished. And yeah, we did build it around the tree back there, but we actually designed the deck so we can take out up to a foot of paneling around the sides and the frame so that the tree there does not push through the deck when it's all done. We actually designed it so that the deck could come apart easily if the tree were to continue growing, and that tree is probably close to 20 years old at this point. So we'll see what happens, but we didn't want to cut it down. It provides a lot of shade. We thought we would just take a chance with it, and right now it's really working well. So anyway, this is Travis P11. Thanks for watching my video on the Ultra Deck Fusion 2.0 composite decking strips, as well as the Ultra Deck T-Clip hidden fastener system. And there's a lot of other videos on YouTube that will show you how those work. But yeah, just something I wanted to kind of give you guys an update with, and this is what I spent a good chunk of my summer doing last summer, was putting the deck together with my family. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Appreciate you guys checking out the channel. If you have any questions about the decking, let me know. I'll try to answer it. If you head over to like Menards.com, you can look up and see what they have. And I'm not sure if this particular decking is a Menards exclusive, but anyway, you guys do you. So anyway, have fun, guys. Be safe. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Check out my Bid channel, Taste of Nebraska, that I run with Gun Bunny P11. Lots of content coming your way. We'll put a link to that channel at the end. And we'll talk to you guys soon. Take care and have a good one. Bye-bye.